Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is presented by
Bell Tire.
Today is a special day for Tigers fans everywhere. It's Hall of Fame weekend. Jack Morris and Alan Trammell inducted to baseball's Hall of Fame today. Here at Comerica Park, great day for baseball. It is Game 3 featuring the Tigers and the Indians. Hi again, everyone, and welcome to Tigers Baseball. Mario and Pemba alongside Rod Allen. Glad to have you with us. Game 3 in this series. Big day, though, in Cooperstown today, Rod. And I know you and I are both looking forward to a couple of really important speeches today.
There's no doubt about it. Sundays are fabulous when the guys are going into the Hall of Fame because the guys that are up there speaking, Mario, you turn around and look behind them and all those great ball players are back there with their sunglasses on. I'm sure Jack and Tram are going to be wonderful today with their speeches.
All right, we turn our attention to today's game. Jordan Zimmermann is on the mound for the Tigers. Pretty good in his last 5.
Well, he needs to be as good here today against a really good offensive team in the Cleveland Indians, which only scored 1 run in last night's game. So you know they're going to come out swinging the bats. A 2.84 ERA for Jordan his last 5. The whip is real good. Not walking many. He's only walked 3 and he's punched down 29. He's been getting it done with a fastball that's topped out probably 93 miles an hour. He's got that pretty good slider that needs to get to the outside corner against some of the right-handers, and he also has that changeup. But most importantly for Jordan Zimmermann, strike 1. He's got to get ahead of this very lethal offense.
All right, Game 3 in the series is just minutes away. After a short break, we go to the Coliseum Studios. Check in with Johnny Kane on the mound today for the Indians. Corey Kluber, he'll be a tough task. Tigers try Game 3 next.
On extended rest today. This will be his 3rd start against the Tigers. He's been fabulous, 2-0 at the 1.13 ERA, and his strikeouts to walks, the best in Major League Baseball. Nothing will come easy today. Johnny Kane with you from the Coliseum studio. It is Induction Sunday at the National Baseball Hall of Fame, where Alan Trammell, and Jack Morris are set to become the 12th and 13th Tigers players to be inducted into Cooperstown. And both will be given their acceptance speeches not far from now. We will bring you parts of those speeches throughout the broadcast today. It's the Tribe and the Tigers. Mario and Rod are up next. If you're lucky, you get to witness true greatness and know it. Those performances that can enliven a city in an instant and sustain a fan base for life. One no-hitter.
Struck him out, and Morris has a no-hitter.
Countless big plays. Laying the foundation for the moment when dreams not just of the athlete, but of an entire city become reality.
And there's a fly ball to left. Here comes Herndon. He's there. He's got it. The Tigers are the champions of 1984.
Revered, remembered, and now enshrined in baseball's Hall of Fame. Thank you, Tram. Jack, the time has come to take a much-earned bow.
And on this induction Sunday, we have baseball on a beautiful day here in the Motor City. Jordan Zimmerman is on the mound, set to take on the Indians. And he is presented by Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Well, Jordan's going to have to be at his best today against the Tribe. He has not been very good against them in his career, 0-4 with an ERA that is elevated. But he's been good in his last 5. Overall this year, 3.97 for Jordan. Fastball, curveball, slider, changeup, all part of his 4-pitch mix.
Here's the starting lineup he will face today by the Indians, presented by the Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. And for the Tribe here this afternoon, it's Lindor, Brantley, and Ramirez in the top 3 spots. Encarnacion batting cleanup, then Alonso and Melky Cabrera, Kipnis, Gomes, and Davis rounding it out for Terry Francona. Picture perfect afternoon here in the Motor City. Temperature in the upper 70s, and we have just a few scattered clouds in the sky. Lindor leading it off. The Tigers and Tribe have split the first 2 in this series. And here is the first pitch of today's ball game. It's fouled back by Lindor.
There are several Cleveland Indians that have really good offensive numbers against Jordan Zimmermann. However, Lindor is not one of them. He is 1 for 11 in his career against Jordan Zimmermann, so he has not had much success.
Lindor batting .292 on the year, and he'll foul another one back out of play. 0-2. While he has not had success against Zim, he has had a marvelous year. 2 homers in the opening game in this series, 27 for the year.
6 of the 27 home runs that Francisco Lindor has this year have come against Detroit pitching, so that's a pretty high number.
Here's the 1-2, and it's low. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Lindor. Brantley and then Ramirez to follow. Now Zim with the 2-2. Lindor pops it up foul. Down the left field line, long run, and caught in foul ground by Reyes. Lindor retired, 1 gone.
And McLaren Health Plan brings you the Tigers starting defense. Reyes is back out in left field today. You saw him just catch that pop off the bat of Francisco Lindor. Martin back out in center field for the 3rd consecutive day, along with Nicholas Castellanos. Ronnie Rodriguez is getting the start over at 3rd base. Jamer does not have good numbers against Corey Kluber. Iglesias, Goodrum, Hicks round out the infield, and James McCann, the battery mate this afternoon of Jordan Zimmermann.
Michael Brantley has had a good series, 4 out of 9. He had a 19-game hitting streak in the month of May, and you totaled it all up, and he's batting over 300 again.
And Brantley has a really nice, quiet approach from the left side. Everything pretty much stays still. Doesn't have a huge stride. The head doesn't move, and therefore makes a lot of good, solid contact.
Brantley has 12 home runs this year, but he has only 1 in his last 38 games. A little bit of a power outage, but the average has been above 300 most of the year. Infield playing to pull. 2-1 is outside. 3-1 now on Brantley. Jose Ramirez waiting on deck. That shot toward the gap in right center field, and it's going to be right by the center fielder Martin, who couldn't get it. This is going to be at least a triple for Brantley. It's dug up against the wall, and Brantley will be held at 3rd. It is a triple for Michael Brantley.
And you can tell by the way that Leonis Martin ran after that ball in the right center field gap. He's not quite 100%, but he's still playing in the outfield. This is the 3-1 pitch. Jordan Zimmermann was forced into coming with a fastball to Michael Brantley. We talked about his bat-to-ball skills. They're very good. And once this ball gets past him, center fielder Martin, it's triples alley, and it's a triple for Michael Brantley.
That'll bring up Jose Ramirez with 1 out. There's a strike called on Ramirez. Does not have a hit in the series, but he has walked 3 times. That'll dive low. 1 ball and 1 strike. Indians offense was shut down last night by Blaine Hardy and 3 other relievers. Tigers allowed just 1 run on 5 hits.
And going back to last year, Ramirez has been on base in 29 straight games against Tigers pitching. And in those 29 games, he has driven in 28 runs. And he's got a golden opportunity to drive in another one.
Ramirez not afraid to take his walks either. 66 on the year. Here's the 2-2. Just missed. 3-2.
A walk wouldn't be horrible here. At least you would set up the double play possibility off the bat of Encarnacion, who's batting 4th behind Ramirez. That might be your best chance of not giving up a run in this inning.
In the air to center field. Martin sizing it up. Brantley will tag and he will come in to score. So Ramirez with a sac fly makes it 1-0 Cleveland. '74th RBI for Ramirez. Brantley is getting the treatment as he gets back to the dugout. Here's the weather today. Pretty good, Rod. 78 degrees this afternoon.
The weekend has been beautiful. I mean, not a whole lot of humidity, a little bit of sunshine. The Tigers have won 1 game, dropped 1 game. They've got a chance of winning the series today.
Encarnacion waves and misses.
That is now 29 RBIs for Jose Ramirez in the last 29 games against the Tigers. That's crazy.
Yeah, it is nuts. And I know hindsight is always 20/20, but I was with you on maybe walking Ramirez there and setting up this guy right here, Encarnacion.
Yeah, especially with Corey Kluber on the mound for Cleveland. Even though Corey's not pitching all that well right now, he's been dominant against us, and he may not give up a run.
So the Indians get a run as we go to the bottom of the first. Hall of Fame weekend. The parade taking place today, and the speeches, well, they're on their way for Alan Trammell and Jack Morris on a special day in Cooperstown. Nothing ball game. Their starting lineup presented by the Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. And for Ron Gardenhire today, some changes. Martin, Goodrum, Castellanos in your top 3 spots. Hicks, Aducey, and Ronnie Rodriguez man the middle. It'll be McCann, Iglesias, and Reyes, and they will face Corey Kluber, presented by MGM Grand, Detroit.
Yeah, he comes in 12-6 with a sub-3 ERA. However, in his last couple of starts, Corey Kluber has really struggled. He's given up 9 earned runs in his last 2. Let's hope the Tigers are catching him at the right time.
Martin pops up a bunt, and it's going to drop, and Kluber overruns it, so the leadoff man is on. It is an infield bunt single for Martin.
Surprise Martin bunting, even though that hamstring is a little tender, which means he's going to have to run aggressively down the line. But Corey Kluber, he just whiffs at this bunt. He comes over too aggressive, and then he figures out he can't catch it. The bunt's got a little backspin on it because of where he catches it. You can see the backspin right now, the trajectory of the baseball, and then it hits and it just spins away from Corey. Look at the English on that. It's like one of my my golf shots when I get on the green.
That's why I don't get on the green.
On occasion. I get that kind of spin.
Here is Goodrum.
Most of the time they're flying off the green, though.
Into trees. Nico is up there now with the leadoff man on. He is 1 for 8 in the series. Nico had a double in the opening game that drove in a run.
And my guess is that Martin will not be running. If he was 100% healthy, I think he might try to swipe a bag here, but not with this combination behind the plate of Yan Gomes and Kluber. Kluber does not take that long getting the ball to the catcher, which gives Gomes a really nice opportunity to throw. Stuff-wise, Corey Kluber's got a couple different fastballs. Very seldom throws the four-seamer, but he likes his cutter a lot. And a lot of his cut fastballs will look like his slider. Everything moving from Corey Kluber.
Kluber's had a balky knee of late. He had an injection in that knee.
Yeah, they say it messed up his mechanics a little bit.
The 1-1. Ripped toward right center field. That ball is going to get down. It's cut off in center by Davis, and Martin will go to third and stop there. It's a double for Nico Goodrum, and the Tigers coming right back.
It's a nice job by Nico Goodrum, who comes in 1-8 on the homestand, and he gets himself a nice little two-seam fastball at 93. He rips it into right center field. Davis in center field's got some good speed. He's able to run it down and cut it off, which means Martin has to settle for standing at third base with nobody out. But the Tigers are in business against Kluber.
Here is Castellanos, who has been struggling of late. Nick in the series 1 for 8.
He struck out 3 times yesterday, did Castellanos, which is rare for him.
A little bit outside, 1-0. Tigers need to improve their hitting with runners in scoring position. It's been a problem most of the season. Last night they had the bases loaded, nobody out in the 7th, but couldn't score.
They've got the right guy up there, Nicholas, even though struggling a little bit since the All-Star break. He is probably their most consistent hitter with runners in scoring position.
2-0 the count on Nick. Kluber in his last 2 starts has an ERA of over 7. And although it's been a marvelous year for him overall this year, was an all-star again, he's been in a rough patch. Bouncing ball left side of the infield. This will get a run in. Lindor's throw is in time. RBI for Castellanos. Goodrum holding at second.
It's good base running here by the Tigers. I mean, you've got a runner on second. You also have a runner on third. The ball hit to the shortstop. And you see that Lindor comes in and he fields this ball. But if you're at the guy on second base, you have to stay there because that ball was hit to your right. But the guy can score from home plate. So good base running by Nico Goodrum. It's a better look of it right here. You see Nico Goodrum, he says, I can't go to third base because if I go to third base, they will throw that ball to third and get an easy out there.
John Hicks offering a bunt, pulled it back. Hicks batting cleanup for the Tigers today. Victor Martinez, as hot as he has been, gets the day off.
Hicks has had a little success against Corey Kluber. That's the reason why he's in that number 4 spot.
Bouncing ball right side, glove there by Kipnis. Advance the runner, 2 gone.
And while we have a moment, I'll set the Tribe defensive alignment for you. And it's pretty much the way they lined up in the first game of the series. Brantley, Davis, Cabrera in the outfield. In the infield on the left side, it's one of the most prolific left sides of the infield in baseball right now with Ramirez and Lindor. Alonso and Kipnis on the right side, and Yan Gomes back behind the plate. He also caught on the opener on Friday.
Jim Adduci trying to knock in the go-ahead run. Adduci DHing today against Kluber. Was batting .309 at AAA prior to his call-up this year. Knocked in 44 runs. Swing and a miss. 1-1. It'll miss inside. 2-1 now on Adduci.
And right-handers have a little bit more success against Corey Kluber than left-handers do, and the reason for that is that that cut fastball runs in on the hands of the left-handers, and they just can't pick it up, and he breaks a lot of bats.
Chop foul right by Santiago at first base. By the way, if the Tigers combine for 3 or more home runs in this game, bring a copy of the box score to a participating Arby's location tomorrow. Get a free small order of curly fries. 2-2 on Jim Adduci. Tigers have tied it here in the first, and the RBI ground out by Castellanos. Swing and a miss, and Adduci is out there to retire the side. Alan Trammell knows Sparky's presence is in Cooperstown this weekend. Tram remembers his beloved manager when we come back.
Smiling, you know, he would shake his finger, but it'd be in a good way. You know, a lot of times early on he would be waggling his finger about, you know we made a mistake and we needed to learn from that. But it's you know, I think back and you know, the years kind of run together now, and I think back and really trying to think a little harder because I'm a little older about really how it took place and the tough love that Sparky gave us. And I'm so appreciative now that we were taught that way, and it doesn't get any better. Old school, new school, to me, it's one way. There's a right way, and we were taught the right way from Sparky.
DT Energies, know your own power, and Alan Trammell and his fond memories of the skipper Sparky Anderson.
Hall of Fame manager Sparky Anderson won a championship in the National League and also won a championship in the American League. Sparky was a tremendous manager, a tremendous communicator. Man, could he handle the media too.
Which is all part of the package if you want to be a major league manager. There's a ball outside to Yonder Alonso.
Sparky could hold court with the best of them, man. I mean, he could hold some court.
Had that pipe going.
Yeah.
The gray hair. He gathered around and listened. 3-1 pitch is rolled foul. 3-2 now on Alonso.
Alonso's got really good career numbers against Jordan Zimmerman. We told you that several guys in the tribe lineup have good numbers against Jordan, so Jordan's going to have to continue to mix in all of his pitches. He's really going to have to get ahead in the count. That would allow him to expand the strike zone to see if he can get some of these guys to chase some pitches.
Alonso in the series 3 for 7. He has a homer that came in the opening game. The Indians put together 3 singles in 1 inning last night, and that's all they scored, 1 run. Again, the 3-2. Alonso skies this one to center field, is hit well, but Martin will get back there, 1 gone. Relive the career of Tigers legend and 2018 Hall of Fame inductee Alan Trammell with the book 3, A Salute to Alan Trammell. This must-have item for any Tigers fan is filled with an exclusive collection of stories and photographs. Pre-order your copy today by calling 313-471-2064 or visiting tigers.com/Trammell3. That'll be a nice keepsake to have.
For sure.
Here is Melky Cabrera. He rips one down the right field line. That is up and that is gone. A line drive homer for Melky Cabrera.
That is now the 5th home run that Jordan has given up in his last 3 starts. That start right before the All-Star break against Tampa. He gave up a couple of homers. Then he gave up a couple of homers in his first outing of after the All-Star break, and 1 more here to Melky Cabrera. So he's been bitten by the home run ball lately. This was a fastball at 91. The other 4 had been breaking balls. I mean, it's located outside. Melky just reached out to the outside corner and snatched that one.
Melky is one of those batters that is never going to super wow you with his skills, but man, is he so consistent.
He will give you a quality plate appearance, a professional at bat.
0-2 on Kipnis. The Indians go right back on top. They lead 2-1.
That is now the 26th homer they've hit this year against Tigers pitching. 26. That's a lot.
Kipnis 10 homers this year. He's batting .220. Now 2-2. This Indians team has made a living this year on the long ball, and they have showed that in this series. That's toward right center field. It'll get down, a base hit. Kipnis on the 1-out single. Time now for the Bernstein advantage. When you look at the first 5 starts for Zim compared to his last 8, he's done much better of late.
And he says that the main reason for the very good numbers is the fact that he's healthy, and the fastball's been firm. He's got some good breaking balls. It's good to see.
And there are times, Rod, we've seen this year where that slider is unhittable.
No question about that. He said a couple of starts ago in that start against Texas, I believe he had 11 punch outs. He said that was the best slider he'd ever had in his life. A 91 mile per hour fastball there that Yan Gomes swings right through. He's got a lot of pop in his bat too.
Yeah, it wasn't long ago, a couple of years ago, that Gomes won a Silver Slugger Award for the catching position. Down 0-2 now. McCann caught the brunt of that foul ball. You know, you wonder with these catchers and all the equipment they wear how they could ever feel anything. Believe me, when a ball's coming in at 95.
Yeah, and then when a guy fouls it straight back,
yeah,
I mean, it's still 95. I mean, it's not like they've slowed it down any.
Gomes wouldn't chase. 1-2.
Yeah, you got to keep Kipnis close, or at least keep an eye on him. And Kipnis knows that in this particular count, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Jordan Zimmerman likes to throw breaking balls, so therefore he might guess He's getting a breaking ball and try to swipe a bag.
Again, Zim stays away with a 2-strike pitch, but he missed. Now 2-2. Again, he stays outside, 3-2. So Gomes now has run the count in his favor. And Kipnis at first with 1 out, a run in on the home run by Melky Cabrera.
Don't think that Terry Francona will be afraid to allow Kipnis to get a head start on the 3-2 count. He stays.
Shot foul down the right field line.
And time now for StatCast AI powered by AWS. A lot to the pull field off the bat of Gomes on the ground. Doesn't go the opposite way very often, but the Tigers are playing him straight up, anticipating that he might hit something on the ground. They could turn a double play.
Turning into a pretty good bat here for Gomes, who started behind in the count 0-2, and we've seen Zim get ahead of a lot of hitters, but has not been able to put him away early here.
You know, yesterday I had to read the AI powered by AWS twice because I said A1 when I saw the AI. I was thinking about that steak I was going to eat last night.
I didn't even notice.
They made me read it again.
Did you have that steak?
I didn't have it last night.
There's a shot to right center. It's going to get down a base hit.
How about that? And we showed you where he usually hits the ball, but in the 3-2 count, he had an idea maybe Jordan would stay away from him, and he just reached out and hit something right over the head of the second baseman, Nico Goodrum. Let's see if he throws anything inside. See, right there for me, Mario, is one of the reasons why a pitch like that can get hit. I mean, every last pitch that we saw there to Yan Gomes, every last one of them, there was nothing that resembled a fastball inside at all. And if you're a hitter and you're standing in the batter's box for 7 or 8 pitches and that's all you see, guess what? I mean, you're going to be able to do that. That wasn't a horrible pitch by Jordan.
It was an 8-pitch at bat in which he started 0-2. Now here is Davis.
Yeah, you got to show inside on occasion. Even if you don't want to live in there, you at least have to show in there sometimes.
How much of that is incumbent upon the catcher in calling that?
Well, I think it comes from the game plan that's been put in place by Rick Anderson and the catcher and Jordan Zimmerman. But sometimes you have to change midstream if you get ahead of a guy like he was ahead of Gomes there 0-2.
Swing and a miss, 0-2 on Rajay Davis. Here's another 0-2 count now for Zim. We'll see if he can put Davis away.
You might want to climb the ladder one time with a fastball to see if you can get Rajay to chase. Yesterday, the Cleveland Indians hit a lot of fly balls, and a lot of them landed in the catchers and the gloves of the Tigers. 16 flyouts yesterday off the bats of the Tribe.
Got him, strike 3 in the outside corner. Davis is out of there.
That's a better slider there by Jordan.
Stay tuned to Tigers Live. Following the game, we'll select the Fox Sports Detroit Tigers Player of the Game, presented by McDonald's. Here is Francisco Lindor. Fly out to left field to start the ball game. He's 0 for 1. It'll dive in for a strike. The home run that Cabrera hit in this inning gives the Indians 145 this year, and only the Yankees have hit more than Cleveland. Yankees, though, without Darren Judge for 3 weeks or so. The 0-1. Lindor hit 2 homers in the opening game in the series. His 5th multi-homer game this year.
If he has one more of the multi-homer games in the leadoff spot, he will establish a new modern-day record. No leadoff hitter has ever done it 6 times in a season.
You know, he's such a dynamic player in that he gives you quality at bat, hits nearly 300, but he also does provide that power
from both sides of the plate.
1-2 on Lindor. Two and 2 on the Indians leadoff man.
If you watch Lindor in the batter's box, it's almost like he has taken the same kind of approach as Michael Brantley. Watch how he holds his hands, Mario, and watch how he just ever so slightly pats his hands on his chest. I mean, he looks just like Michael Brantley in the batter's box. I mean, just like him. Very quiet.
You think Brantley's rubbing off on him?
I think he could be possibly rubbing off on him, at least from a quieting standpoint in the batter's box. It's not a bad guy to pat in your swing after if you're left-handed. There's no question about that. And I'm sure he's watched Michael Brantley over the course of the last 3 years. They're different players, there's no doubt, but the approach is similar. The pre-pitch routine.
Little flare toward left field. Reyes on the run, still coming, but it's going to land foul. $50 now for Zim as the pitch count begins to elevate here in the second. The Indians with some quality at bats in this inning. They have 2 on 2 outs and a run in.
Pick up Brantley right now in the on deck circle, doing the exact same thing that Lindor is going to do right now. Pats it 3 times and he swings the bat. That's good stuff there.
That's a great shot. Little flare to left field. It's going to drop, base hit. Reyes charging, going to try and score the run. Here's the throw. It's going to roll in. It'll be an RBI single for Lindor.
Remember that conversation we just had about the fact that Zim hasn't really thrown anything inside yet? There's another example with 2 strikes, a left-handed batter just kind of reaching out over the plate and hitting something the other way. Give Lindor a little credit here. He hits a decent pitch, but it's off the plate away.
Kipnis chugging around third, comes in to score for the Tribe.
Take a look at where the location of the pitch is. It looks like it's, what, a couple of inches off the plate. Look at the swing by Lindor here. I mean, that's kind of when you don't think you're going to get anything inside. Zim will have success here today if he starts to go inside a little bit.
Ball 1 to Brantley.
And now with Michael Brantley standing in the batter's box, you can watch what he does with his hands, and you can see how it's very similar to the same kind of approach that Lindor just showed us when he was in there before getting that base hit the opposite way.
But can you teach hitters to be this quiet? I mean, it seems to be the best approach because it slows the game down, but I don't know that everybody can do it, can they?
No, and everybody can't do it, and that's why everybody's not hitting 300 like Michael Brantley, and they're not the superstar players like Lindor. But you can be taught some things, though. Very quiet. 1, 2, 3. Brantley does the exact same thing every single pitch.
Well, this series, he is 5 for 10. This season, batting .356.
How about the career, though?
Career .331.
So this stuff here is no fluke, then. And the only reason why we're not talking about Brantley more is because of the damage that the guy in the on deck circle has done against us the last couple of years.
Brantley was the player to be named later in the CC Sabathia deal several years ago with Milwaukee. A big part of that deal was Matt Laporta. Remember him?
Yeah, I sure do remember him. He didn't pan out.
No, that slugging first baseman was supposed to give the Tribe a big power hitter. In there, a strike called. 1-2 on Brantley.
It's a good pitch right there by Jordan Zimmerman. It's a fastball at the top of the strike zone. And Michael Brantley didn't want that pitch. You might want to go right back up there again. You might be able to get the pop up. Michael Brantley's a very good low ball hitter.
Little looper back a short, and Iglesias runs it down. Saved a run there. Tribe gets 2 as we go to the bottom of the second. Jose Iglesias with a nice grab in short left center. Sports Detroit is brought to you by Comerica Bank. Raise your expectation of what a bank can be. Come to Comerica. And by Ram. Come in now to the Ram Summer Clearance Event and get a great deal today. Can't imagine what it's like sitting in that parade. Alan Trammell, Jack Morris heading to their speeches today. What a great thrill for Tram and Morris. And we'll bring you excerpts of both of their speeches.
Not only Tram and Morris, but a lot of Tiger fans as well, Mario. This day's long time coming.
There's a strike called on Ronnie Rodriguez. Indians lead 3-1. A lot of scoring early in this game. Rodriguez, McCann, Iglesias. Bouncing ball, base hit. He went the other way, and Cusa singled into right field.
It's already the third hit the Tigers have gotten today against Corey Kluber. In the second consecutive inning, they've gotten the leadoff man on base.
Kluber in his last 5 starts against the Tigers had an ERA of 0.95. But as we mentioned, coming in, he just has been in a rocky point of this season trying to get it going again. And the Tigers trying to take advantage of that.
They said that he was pitching injured before the All-Star break, and he made the All-Star team, but he did not pitch in the All-Star game. He had a shot in his right knee. And they said because he was pitching with the knee hurting, he developed some bad habits, and he's now just trying to correct himself to get out of those bad habits. And they believe that's one of the reasons why he has posted the poor numbers in the last 2 starts. He went up against a couple good teams, though, the Yankees and Pittsburgh. No slouches, though, and that Pittsburgh team was on fire.
Well, how many times do you hear that where a guy is playing hurt and all of a sudden you start compensating one part of your body and you mess up your mechanics?
Yeah, it happened to our own Jordan Zimmerman. I mean, a couple of years ago, he was injured with the back and started overcompensating in another area. So it happens from time to time.
McCann, 1 out of 4 in the series, batting .230.
And McCann looking for his first career hit against Corey Kluber.
Kluber made his third consecutive All-Star team this year. Down the right field line, slicing to the corner. Into the seats. Nice grab on the carom.
Yeah, it is.
Take a bow.
Or two.
Tigers got a run in the first and a single, a bunt single by Martin, a double by Goodrum, and a ground out by Castellanos. One and two on McCann. Tigers last night played another one-run game. They've had 32 of those this year. And that is the third most one-run games this season. They won half of them and lost half of them. Swing and a miss, Mack chasing. Second strikeout for Kluber. As you enjoy a Miller Lite, look forward to the whole true moment later in today's game. Think about those one-run games, Rod. Let's say you win half of those one-run games.
No question. You're much better.
Victories,
yeah. I saw that same stat today, and I looked at what our record was and how many two-run games we played or fewer, and those 22 of those, so 54.
Wow.
Of the 106 games the Tigers have played this year, more than half of them have been decided by 2 runs or fewer. So that gives you an idea of where they're at from an offensive standpoint.
How about that play by Lindor? Are you kidding? He gets the force at second on a sparkling diving play.
He goes over and takes the ball from base hit for Iglesias. He wouldn't have had to play it first, but he gets up quickly and he reverse pivots and fires a strike to the second baseman, Jason Kipnis. This guy's just a really good player. I don't see how in the world he's made 13 errors this year. He always shows up against us.
Here is Reyes now with 2 outs.
And Iggy's a threat to steal. He's got 13 bags.
There he goes. Here comes the throw from Combs. It sails on him. Tag. Got it. Boy, great tag down there by Lindor. That'll end the inning. No runs, a hit, nobody left.
Kluber, they had an idea Iggy would try to swipe his 14th bag, so they threw a fastball up top, and he got rid of it in a hurry. Yan Gomes understands if you just get it in the vicinity of Lindor, you allow him to make a play. You see Lindor comes off the base, he grabs a bad throw, and then he's able to reach back and still apply the tag to the right rib of Iglesias as he slides by.
Jose Ramirez leads it off for the Indians. You know, there's a part of the game that I think is underappreciated sometimes for infielders, and that is tagging ability.
Yep.
And they say that Lindor is as good a tagger as anybody in the game. You saw a good example of it there. He snatched that ball and with quick hands applied the tag.
Right.
And I would imagine soft hands a big part of that as well. Ramirez is leading things off. Drove in a run with a sac fly in the first inning.
That's a good pitch right there, and making Ramirez move his feet. Ooh, good two-seamer.
Ramirez now 74 RBIs. He was third last year in the MVP vote. That'll miss low.
He'll be in the top of that conversation again this year, along with Mookie Betts and Mike Trout and J.D. Martinez. Those are probably the front four guys. Lindor should be in that conversation too.
So Ramirez gets a walk. Let's bring in Matt Shepard.
Mario, love the conversations we have with Ron Gardenhire before games. So we talked to him obviously about the Hall of Fame because of the big day taking place today. He says he's been there numerous times, but has only had one tour of the Hall of Fame. And what he remembers most is putting on rubber gloves and grabbing the bat used by Nellie Fox, and said to me, now I understand why they used to have their hands so far apart. It was big, it was heavy, and it was tough to swing. What he was lured most by is the old baseballs and the old gloves. And for some reason, he gravitated toward Honus Wagner's display, and of course, loved Mickey Mantle and Johnny Bench because of the Oklahoma connection between the three guys.
You know, the Baseball Hall of Fame is a must, Shep and Rod, for any baseball fan.
It is mecca.
No question.
It's beyond what you would expect the first time you go. I mean,
got to go with your kids too, I think. I mean, I love sharing those stories with guys that I grew up admiring so much in this great game, and to have my boys be there with me and kind of read about it and understand the stories that I used to tell them kind of validated it for me anyway.
Yeah, pretty cool.
Yeah.
Encarnacion, the batter. 0-2 the count. I still have memories several years ago going to the Hall of Fame. Ernie Harwell was doing some work for Fox Sports Detroit, and we would just walk Ernie in front of the Mickey Mantle display and say, Ernie, we need 3 minutes on Mickey. Go. And he would give you 3 minutes on the dot.
He was very eloquent, Ernie Harwell.
Had a great sense of timing. Awfully fun to go through the Hall of Fame with Ernie Harwell. 0-2 on Encarnacion. And he just got a piece of it to stay alive.
And Tiger's going to need that bullpen today. Jordan Zimmerman is about to throw his 65th pitch, and there's no one out in the third inning. But we told you this Tribe team has given him problems in his career. He is 0-4 against Cleveland with an elevated earned run average. So they've given him problems.
Runner goes, and it's outside. A one-hop throw is not in time.
He's going to be a 30-30 guy this year.
Well, he's got 23 of them now in the stolen base column.
And you don't see many 30-30 guys anymore. Guys that hit 30 or more homers, guys that steal 30 or more bags. There's only been a handful of guys that have hit 40-40, and he's got an outside chance at that, to be honest with you.
1-2 on Encarnacion.
How many guys have gone 40-40? Barry Bonds, Alex Rodriguez, Jose Canseco. Might be one other one, but it's only 4, I think, in the history of the game that have hit 40 or more and stolen 40 or more bases in one season. I thought Vladimir got close one year.
We shall look that up.
Yep.
Here's the 1-2. 2-2 on Encarnacion.
Of course, Vladimir Guerrero going into the Hall of Fame today, along with Alan Trammell. And our very own Jack Morris.
Canseco, Bonds, A-Rod. Oh, we forgot Soriano.
Oh, I know it was one more.
Yeah, Soriano, 46 homers, 41 steals.
Yeah, Vladimir Guerrero almost did it one year. He fell one shy in one of the departments, whether it be the homer or whether it be the stolen base.
Encarnacion retired 5-3, one gone. I'll be a part of history when the Tigers retire the number of Hall of Fame inductee Jack Morris prior to the Sunday, August 12th game. It'll be against the Minnesota Twins. The on-field ceremony begins at 12:15, and the first 10,000 fans will get a Jack Morris replica jersey. Go to Tigers.com for more info. And be here early in your seat for the ceremony. Here is Yonder Alonso, who fly to center field his first time up.
It looked like with the overshift there on the Tigers, everybody on the right side of the infield, with the exception of Jeimer Candelario, it looked like he tried to hit one in that direction. Yonder's already gotten a couple of hits in the series to left field because of the overshift. And that last swing clearly looked like he was trying to hit something in that direction.
Do you think as the game goes on in the coming years that we will see a correction on these shifts because players will start to go the other way a little bit more? Or do you think players are just so ingrained with the way they do things, it's probably never going to change?
I don't think it's going to change again, man, because of the launch angle thing, and everybody's trying to hit the ball in the air, and that's what guys are being rewarded for. And they're not necessarily complaining about all the strikeouts. So I don't see it changing until management and ownership kind of change the way they view how players should do what they do.
Good pickup there by McCann, who's done a lot of that this year.
Looks like the shifts are most definitely here to stay.
Well, on a nightly basis, we show you those graphs and the overlays of how the percentages indicate you should play them with the shifts. And they continue to work. Good pitch now, 2-2 on Alonso.
I said Candy was the lone member on the left side of the infield, but it's actually Ronnie Rodriguez with the start at third base today. And Jeimer getting the start of the afternoon off. He did not have real good numbers against Kluber. But there's not many guys that have good numbers against Corey Kluber, at least the last 2 years.
Good rip there by Alonso.
You can tell by that swing that if they do something outside, Alonso might have a shot of hitting something in that direction. Look at the swing. You can see that he's really staying on that ball, trying to hit something in the left field. Ramirez, standing out at third base, has now been on base in 30 consecutive games against the Tigers, dating back to last year, of course.
High towering fly ball to right field, going down into the corner. Will it stay fair? And it will. It's gone. A home run for Yonder Alonso.
Wait till we get you the launch angle on that swing.
Man,
are you kidding me? Well, Alonso came in with a .375 career batting average against George Zimmerman and got underneath one, man, and that ball stayed up forever. Well, he comes inside with a four-seam fastball because he noticed the exact same thing that I noticed, Mario, that it looked like Alonso was trying to hit something the other way. And sometimes you just got to give the hitter some credit. I mean, that ball was up in the strike zone. He still was able to get to it and hit it out. That's his second home run of the series.
Is that another example, Ron, of what you talk about many times, that hitters keeping their hands in, and he kept that ball fair? He just did a nice job of staying on top of that.
He really did. I mean, it wasn't a horrible pitch. I mean, it was up in the strike zone. Most left-handers have an area right there where he threw that ball where they swing right through it. But you add in the success he's had against Jordan Zimmerman, and then there's a confidence factor while he's in the batter's box.
5-1 ball game now in the 2-run homer. Here is Melky Cabrera. It'll chop her up the middle. It'll be backhanded by Goodrum.
And let's take a look and see what StatCast is going to provide us as far as the launch angle on the majestic 2-run shot off the bat of Alonso. I knew it'd be high, but I didn't know it was going to be that high. A 41-degree launch angle, exit velocity of 106, and anytime you get a reading like that, you're going to hit it out of the park.
Homer number 18 for Alonso.
That's like his 5th home run in his last 7 games or something. He's on fire right now.
Yeah, he has, let's see, 5 in 8. 5 homers in 8 games. 1-1 on Kipnis. This is going to be the 80th pitch for Zim. And we're only in the 3rd. Rolled fair just inside the bag. Ducey has it, and Kipnis is out of there. Inning over. 2-run shot by Alonso. Now 5-1 Tribe. Brought to you by T-Mobile. Alan Trammell's had many highlights in his Hall of Fame career, but this is one that'll stick out for him. Walk-off grand slam on June 21st of 1988.
Tram could hit anywhere in the lineup. He could hit first, second, third, or fourth.
Love seeing those old highlights at Tiger Stadium.
And Tram used to choke up on the bat, man, and he had some tremendous bat-to-ball skills. Seemed like that 84-year Lou Whitaker would lead off with a single, and next thing you know, you got Tram was batting second that year. He was a perfect number 2 hitter. He'd come up and hit one between first and second, and Lou would be sitting on third base and waiting for Darrell Evans to drive him in.
A pretty good recipe.
Yeah, it was.
Great formula.
It worked well that year.
Victor Reyes and then Leonis Martin and Nico Goodrum facing Kluber.
I don't think a team will ever start a season 35-5.
I don't see how it's going to be possible. I mean, anything is possible because obviously it happened once, but man.
That team won 17 games in a row on the road before they lost a game in '84. On the road.
2-2 on Reyes. The other thing about that 35-5 start, it creates a lot of pressure for a team when you get off that quickly, and how people expect you just to roll the rest of the year, and that can be pressure packed.
Toronto was good that year. Toronto was trying to run the Tigers down that season.
Wire to wire for the Tigers in '84.
You know, one guy we really haven't talked a lot about regarding that '84 team was the general manager, Bill LaJoy. He was the architect of that team, and he was a tremendous communicator. He was a tremendous evaluator, and he put that team together.
The old Willie Hernandez deal turned out to be a big one.
Yeah, it sure did.
Boy, Ray is putting together a nice at bat here.
I know you grew up a Tigers fan, so you knew how good Glenn Wilson was, right?
Oh, he was a great
He was
prospect.
supposed to be the truth.
Yeah.
And they didn't want to give up Glenn Wilson, but they jumped at the opportunity to sign to get Willie Hernandez. And, of course, we know what Willie Hernandez went on to do. And Wilson went on to have a good career in Philly. But he was a can't-miss prospect for the Tigers, an untouchable prospect.
They'll chop her up the middle. Lindor cruising over. Reyes is out, one away. Let's bring in Matt Shepard.
Rod, I'm so glad you brought up Bill LaJoy because that is a name we've kind of overlooked. By the way, that 1984 team, I don't think they had anybody hit 30 homers or have more than 100 RBIs or bat 300. I could be wrong there. You'll have to look that up.
I think you're right.
Of all the guys I talked to for the Tigers about this special day, I think this day hit Victor Martinez more than anybody else. I don't know if it's because it's age. I don't know if it's because of father time and so on and so forth, but he was really eager to talk about Trammell and Morris to me, about them going into the Hall of Fame today. You know, just reveling in their accomplishments, the type of pros they were, what they've been able to accomplish, and what a feat that is to play in this game. I know young guys look at Cooperstown in the Hall of Fame and think, wow, that's the ultimate, right? But Victor Martinez, because of his length of stay in baseball and because of what he's accomplished and who he's played with and against, I think it hit him more than anybody else on this day. How about you?
I would agree. I mean, the guy has over 2,000 major league hits. And he's put together a very accomplished career.
Sure has.
And he knows how difficult it is to accomplish what those guys will have accomplished, and that's to get into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. To answer your question, Shep, Lance that year had 33 homers, 98 RBIs.
Gotcha. Okay, so one guy hit more than 30.
Right, but
the big wheel.
Nobody 100 RBIs.
The big wheel.
Big wheel. God, my favorite team of all time in Detroit sports, 84. That's it.
Do you, by the way, know how Lance Parrish got the nickname Big Wheel?
I don't. Help me.
It's a great story. The great Mel Allen, who used to do This Week in Baseball, was doing a feature on the Tigers that week. They got off to a great start, and he said, the big wheel in Detroit is Lance Parrish.
That's awesome.
Because Lance was off to a good stretch.
You missed that show, by the way?
Oh, I do.
That was a great show. Great show. Sparky Anderson and Lance Parrish, man, they used to fight, man, about Lance lifting weights.
Yeah.
Because Lance used to love weights, and Sparky used to get so mad at him. And Lance used to have to sneak off to go lift his weights. He'd go somewhere else and lift them. But Sparky would know that he had been lifting them. I mean, Lance grew up in California, and he was into his body, and he was into lifting weights, a lot like Shep. Shep lifts a lot of weights. Yeah, Shep lifts a lot of weights too. But Sparky did not. That's the difference in the way game is now and the game used to be. Guys didn't lift a lot of weights back then.
Well, in some ways, then Lance was ahead of his time.
He was.
He trendsetter. 2 gone now for Nico. Goodrum doubled in the first inning.
It looked like Corey Kluber kind of settling in a little bit. Tigers had a chance to get him in the first couple of frames. They did score 1 run in the first inning, but he has since settled in.
Nico had a double in the first, setting up the first Tigers run.
Corey has started to throw a few more change-ups and off-speed pitches to get the Tigers off that good hard 2-seam fastball. That's what Nico hit his first time up. That's nasty right there.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, this ball looks like it's coming right down the middle to Nico Goodrum. And then all of a sudden, when it gets in the hitting zone, look at it take off. It just takes off down toward the back foot. It's a nasty pitch.
So let me ask you, as a hitter now, you obviously see the spin, don't you?
It's a cutter. It's tougher to pick up the spin on a cutter than it is on a slider. That's not cutting that much.
Yeah.
Ever so slightly it starts to cut. It doesn't cut really until the last possible moment, and he's throwing it at 90 miles an hour. So you have a velocity of a fastball, but you also have that cutting action.
Now the 1-2.
There's a changeup right there at 87. He doesn't throw anything straight. Even when Corey goes up top with a good hard fastball, it's usually moving. It's a two-seam fastball up top.
Fly ball left field. This will be caught by Brantley. And Corey Kluber has a 1-2-3 third inning. Tigers baseball today presented by Bell Tire. Most dependable players. How about Jack Morris and Alan Trammell in their careers against divisional opponents?
How about the 76 complete games for Jack Morris within the division? Are you kidding me?
It's crazy. And Alan Trammell, of course, steady Eddie across the board in all of those stat categories. Looks like Zim is done for the day.
Yeah, shortest outing for Jordan since he faced Cleveland earlier in the year, where he only pitched 3 innings against the Tribe. We told you that Cleveland very tough on Jordan Zimmerman, and they were again today.
So out of the bullpen and the wall side windows, pitching change, it's Francisco Liriano. Liriano was supposed to start in the ball game last night, but had an allergic reaction to something they're still trying to figure out.
And Francisco's been in 17 games, 16 of those as a starter.
Gomes, Davis, and Lindor here in the 4th inning. 5-1. Indians have the lead. Last start was against the Royals on the 20-31 4 2/3, 3 runs. And Gomes is out of there. 1 gone.
And Gomes could not hold up on the changeup. And Francisco gets tons of swings and misses, not only on his slider but also his changeup. Actually, that was a breaking ball there.
Liriano last year came out of the bullpen 20 times after being traded to the Astros in 2017.
He just got his World Series ring when the Tigers were in Houston right before the All-Star break. Him and Mike Fiers.
Well, if you're an opposing team and you're thinking about acquiring Francisco Liriano at the deadline, that ball sliced to right field, and it's a fair ball. Going to go to the corner. Davis off to the races. Rajay rounds the bag. He's going to third. He's got a triple in the corner and right. He never stopped running. Second triple of the day for the Indians.
A lot of extra base hits already today, for the Cleveland Indians. Here's a fastball that's away that Rajay slices right inside the foul line in the right field corner. Hits the wall and starts to hug the wall. Nicholas Castellanos has to chase it down, and he knows he has to really get it in because Rajay can really run.
Infield in now for Lindor. Point I was going to make before that triple was that Liriano this year, lefties are batting 117 against him. So I don't know if teams might look at him as a guy that could come out of the bullpen down the stretch for lefties.
No question.
Good stop by McCann.
Yeah, you're starting to see the teams that are looking like they're going to go to the postseason start to set their rosters, starting to add the pieces that they think that they might need to win a world championship, because you know that's what's on the mind of the Yankees and the Astros and the Boston Red Sox and the Chicago Cubs.
2-0 on Lindor. RBI single in this game. And right to the first baseman, Ducey. Hot shot grounder to keep the runner at third.
Had him played perfectly.
Check that, Big John Hicks at first base, not a Ducey. 3 unassisted, hard hit ball, but straight at Hicks.
That's where the analytics comes into play. You can see how far Hicks is off the line, and Francisco hits the ball right to him.
It'll allow the Tigers now to relax the defense. The infield is back for Brantley. So you got a lefty-lefty matchup here again. 117 against lefties this year for Liriano. Little chopper to first, foul. 1-1 on Brantley. A triple and a run scored for Michael Brantley. Trading deadline is just a couple of days away, Tuesday at 4 p.m. Tigers have an off day tomorrow. Two and one.
Tigers have an off day tomorrow, and then they play 2 more games against Cincinnati, and then have another off day on Thursday.
Well, we knew coming into the season that Major League Baseball has inserted more days off this year. Starting to see that now here in the second half. 2-2. You know what Gardy's doing tomorrow on the off day?
What's he got going?
Check this out. He's going fishing with Johnny Kane.
Is he really?
Yeah.
Johnny gets the good gigs, man.
I know it.
Doesn't he though? You going fishing with the skipper?
That's pretty good.
That's really good.
Rolled to first. That's a fair ball. Knocked out by Hicks. Quick throw, and they got him. Nice play by Liriano to get over there. And the inning is over. What makes Tigers fans the best in baseball? From Cooperstown, Tom Brookins tells us after the break.
area, there's Oriole fans, there's Philly fans, there's even Pittsburgh fans, you know, there. When you're from Michigan, you're a Tiger fan, and that's just the way it is, and that's makes them special. And that old Tiger Stadium, I was nothing better than going down there and seeing that place rocking and rolling, and 30, 40, 50,000 in that place. That's just some memories that I carry with me that are just cherished.
Our call of the game, and that was Tom Brookins, the former Tigers third baseman. His memories. As Hall of Fame weekend continues, the speeches are starting. Once Tram and Jack speak, we'll bring some excerpts for you from Cooperstown.
And Sparky used to call him Brookie. And good to see Tom Brookins. He was on Jim Leland's staff for a few years when Jim took over after Tram was let go from a manager's standpoint in 2006.
Meanwhile, Kluber going to work here in the fourth. Castellanos, Hicks, and Adduci. Here's the 1-2 to Nick.
Nick has been getting a lot of breaking balls in the last couple of days from the Tribe right-handers. It started with Carrasco on Friday, then Clevenger yesterday, and now Kluber has done the same thing.
Just missed. 3-2 now on Nicholas.
50 pitches, 33 strikes, and thrown by Kluber, who won a Cy Young last year, his second of his career.
Corey Kluber, the first American League pitcher to win multi-Cy Young awards since Johan Santana back in 04 and 06 for Ron Gardenhire.
It looked like Chris Sale was going to win his first Cy Young award last year, but Sale, he struggled in the month of September, and Kluber was dynamite in the month of September. Therefore, Kluber was able to snatch that award away from Chris Sale. However, this year, Mario, it looks like Chris Sale will win his first Cy Young.
Yeah, he's cruising right now. Here's ball 4, so it'll be a walk for Castellanos. Tigers get the leadoff man on. We bring in Matt Shepard.
Mario, you know I love working with you guys. You're great storytellers, but I don't think there's a better storyteller than Ernie Harwell. We talked a lot about the Hall of Fame ceremony today, and for good reason. Remember, this man went in 1981, and for good reason. As the play-by-play voice of the Tigers from 1960 on, not a better storyteller. And I'll tell you this little story. When I was young, I needed to find out, could I do this job? Who do I go to critique my work? On a chance, I contacted Ernie Harwell, left a message on my voicemail, not my voicemail, my answering machine way back when, right? I couldn't believe it. I saved that tape, and then he invited me to his house in Farmington Hills to go over my work. One of the biggest thrills I've ever had. And of course, we all worked with him here at Fox Sports Detroit. We still cherish those memories and those moments as well, guys.
Yeah, there's no doubt, and Ernie Harwell was always very gracious with his time. And you know, here's a young broadcaster, Matt Shepard, doesn't know Matt from anybody else. And come on over, have dinner, and we'll talk about your tape.
Didn't you have a similar experience like that with Ernie?
I did, only it was over via mail, so it was more of a less intimate, formal setting. But Ernie was always willing to take time and just give you critiques and more than that, encouragement, I think.
Yeah, it's wonderful that way that people will take you under their wing. And of course, Ernie was one of the best in all of baseball. I had a similar experience when I started in Arizona. Joe Garagiola Sr. was one of our broadcasters there too, and after my first year, he noticed a lot of things that he could help me with, Mario, so he invited me over to his house, and I sat there and I was there all day long. He fed me breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Ground ball to second base, looks like it might be 2. Hicks, nope, gonna beat it. But they fed me lunch and dinner, and I sat there the entire day, and he showed me his scorebooks. He showed me how he wrote little anecdotes in his scorebook when the game would get stale and different things like that. So it's just wonderful when you have someone in your life like that.
Wait a minute, you got 2 meals out of that?
I did.
Pretty good.
Yeah, sure did.
Joe Garagiola.
The whole day, man. He was in the Hall of Fame too. So I mean, you're talking about Hall of Fame guys that take the time to help out guys like us.
By the way, that was a pretty sweet call there on the ground ball by Hicks.
I tried it.
Tried it. You were right on. Now take the rest of the inning off. Go ahead, Ryan.
No.
Here is Ducey now with 1 on 1 out. DH who struck out in the first inning. Ball 1. Tigers so far have been limited to 3 hits. They got 2 of them in the first inning to grab a run, but that's all they've been able to do against Kluber.
And they've had the leadoff hitter on in 3 of the first 4 frames today, but that doesn't necessarily translate into success against Corey Kluber.
Kluber has been very workmanlike in this game. He received some help in the second when Iglesias was caught trying to steal. Trying to pitch around a leadoff walk here in the 4th. Chop to the right side, Alonso. He'll go to second. They'll get 1 there, and that's it. Two away. Back in 2001, Ernie Harwell making a trip to the Hall of Fame. And boy, I tell you what, when Ernie walked into a room, man, he lit it up. And as I mentioned earlier, when I made the trip a couple of years after that with Ernie to the Hall of Fame, he could literally speak on anybody in that hall and about their careers. Pretty special guy.
Ernie remembered everybody's name.
Yep.
Everybody's name. And it didn't really matter whether you were a Tiger for a year or whether you were there for 30 days. He didn't forget you.
Ronnie Rodriguez bounces out to end the inning. Tigers get a walk but fail to score. We go to the 5th. Baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is brought to you by Bell Tire. For tires and auto service, everybody needs a Bell Tire guy. And by Chevrolet, it's Chevy Truck Month. Bring on the new, hand down the old. Chevrolet, find new roads. Jack Morris in the parade in Cooperstown. We sped that up. He's not really waiting that quickly. What a day. The induction speech is taking place right now. We're waiting for Trammell, who I believe is speaking second this afternoon, which is perfect because he hit second just about his entire career.
Exactly. He's a table setter.
Ramirez leads it off. Drives this one down the left field line, foul. 5-1. Indians have the lead here in the 5th inning. Ramirez, Encarnacion, and Alonso. This is the 2nd inning of work for the lefty Francisco Liriano. Zimmerman lasted only 3 innings in this game and threw 80 pitches before departing. 1 and 2 on Ramirez. One thing I noticed about Ramirez, and we talk about all the walks he takes, but he really looks the ball into the glove.
Mm-hmm.
And his takes are very methodical. And you got a piece of that one to stay alive.
There's that good slider that Francisco has had his entire career. Fastball, slider, changeup.
High fly ball left field. It's going to chase Reyes back to the track. Right in front of the wall. He just missed it. Ramirez is out, one gone. Well, here's someone that's excited about today, an Alan Trammell fan here.
Right.
Interesting view right down next to the foul pole.
He had a real good shot of the Alonso homer.
Cold beer, peanuts.
Encarnacion looks at ball one. You know, Encarnacion came into the series with 71 RBIs. The Tigers have totally negated him. He's 0 for 10. Hopefully that won't change here. The 2-0 pitch. Outside 3-0.
Where he bats in the lineup with the front three hitters that they have. All three guys right around 300. All three guys on base all the time. That would be Lindor, Ramirez, and Brantley. He's got a chance of driving in 150, really.
Yeah, you put the ball in play and you'll get an RBI most nights.
I mean, I can't think of a better spot for a guy like Encarnacion, who's driven in a lot of runs in his career.
He'll take a walk here with one out. Well, if you can't catch the games on TV, you can stream them live on your mobile device. Fox Sports Go. Download the app. Take Fox Sports Detroit and Tigers baseball with you wherever you go. It's made available by Oakland University. Second base runner against Liriano, and here is Yonder Alonso. And the shift that the Tigers will employ against him.
Mostly on the ground to the pull field off the bat of Alonso. And in the air, he's a pull hitter as well. He's homered twice in the series.
Two-run shot in the third was a towering home run to right.
With a 41-degree launch angle. I mean, that's almost swinging straight up. And it was a high pitch.
Little chopper slowly right side of the infield. Goodrum throws him out. It'll advance the runner, two gone. You got on the Tribe offense this month.
Well, it's a good second half team, man. They've kind of hit their stride in the second half. 32 home runs this month. 140 runs scored this month. And the runs scored leads all of Major League Baseball. They say they still need an outfielder, though. They want one more bat. They think they'll be done if they get that bat. Adam Jones, his name has been rumored. Yeah, but apparently they don't want to pick up the remaining salary of Adam Jones. There's always some kind of little fight over nickels and dimes, right?
Yeah, there is. There's always the 10 and 5 rights and things that are written into contracts as well. I think Adam probably would, as the word is coming out of Baltimore, want to stay with the Orioles the rest of the year and then maybe move on next year. 1 ball and 1 strike. 10 years with one team, or in the big leagues rather, 5 with one team, and that gives you rights to veto trades.
Right.
So there are a lot of things to consider. Cabrera swings and misses. 1-2 on Melky.
Adam Jones was once traded from the Seattle Mariners to the Baltimore Orioles. It was a trade deadline deal, and he has spent over a decade with Baltimore. Eric Bedard, Baltimore traded to Seattle in that Adam Jones deal back in the day.
Eric Bedard in his heyday was really good.
Nasty left-hander with a real nice curveball, good fastball.
Here's the 2-2. Slice to right, base hit. Castellanos plays it on 2 hops. They're going to try and score the run. We're going to have a play, and it's not going to be close. Alonso Encarnacion thrown out trying to stand up. Inning over. Lou and Tramm shared a love for the game. We'll hear from Sweet Lou and his longtime friend and teammate after this.
I knew he had what it took. I mean, it was no doubt. It was no doubt. He loved the game. That's the first thing you need, is love for the game, and he had that. And we just played together, you know. I mean, it's a baseball game, you know. Like right now, it's more than baseball. But when you're out there on the field, it's a game. It's like playing in the park. You know, if I was young enough, give me a glove and a bat and a ball, some people to play with, we can go out and play some ball right now.
Our big money encounter with Sweet Lou. Lou Whitaker sitting down with us in Cooperstown, giving us his thoughts about playing with Alan Trammell and his love for the game. And, of course, Sweet Lou and Tramm, man, they were joined at the hip.
Lou looks great, too, man. He looks great. And I'm glad he's there. I'm glad he's there.
Here is Iglesias.
I don't think it's going to be very long before Lou has his day in Cooperstown. I mean, I just think it's coming.
Well, yeah, and believe me, I'm thrilled for Jack Morrison, and certainly he deserves to be there, but it really would have been cool. There's a base hit down the line and left, might be extra bases.
You better hurry.
Iglesias, he's going to get in there easily, standing up with a double. I thought it would have been just poetic justice and really cool to have Tramm and Lou go in the same year.
It seems like that's the way it should have been, for sure.
One out double by Iglesias.
Tigers have been able to get the leadoff hitter on quite a bit today. All those one out here, but they 3 of the 5 innings getting the leadoff hitter on against Kluber, but not able to push him across.
Reyes grounded it out 6-3 his first time up.
Iglesias is continuing to have a really solid season. And it doesn't appear that all the trade rumors regarding Jose Iglesias has really bothered him all that much as far as the way that he's continued to play the game.
I would agree. He's gone out on a nightly basis and done it on both ends. Slow start with the bat this year, but he's come on. 0-2 on Reyes. That was the fourth Tigers hit of the game. They're down 5-1 here in the fifth. Now Reyes waiting on the 0-2. Ground ball right side. That'll advance the runner. Reyes is gone 4-3, 2 away.
Let's take one more look at the Castellanos throw. And when he threw Encarnacion out at home plate to finish that inning, he fields it like a third baseman. And a nice little crow hop, takes his time. He wasn't anticipating Encarnacion running, and I don't think Encarnacion was anticipating getting the go-ahead sign from the third base coach there as well, and he was out by 5 feet. Tigers have a lot of outfield assists this year, and Martin has 9 himself. He has a strong throwing arm. Always has had a good arm.
Martin chasing up top, 0-1. Leones had a bunt single in the first inning and scored, to this point, the only Tigers run. Leones now with 4 hits in this series against the Tribe. He's been hampered by that hamstring, but it has not slowed him down in this series. Rolled foul now, 1-2.
Here's our Xfinity high-speed pitch on Corey Kluber. He's gotten up to 93 today, and Corey usually gets up to 95. I remember about 4 or 5 years ago, he sat at 95, and then he really learned how to pitch. He learned how to add and subtract and cut the ball and sink it, and his career just turned around.
Yeah, somewhat of a late bloomer, so to speak, before he really gained traction in the major leagues. That's in the air to center field, shallow. Here comes Rajay Davis sliding, and Davis makes the catch, saving a run. No runs, a double is stranded. Let's go to the 6th. Here at Comerica Park, Mario and Rod back here at the ballpark, and it was just a matter, I think, early on here, Rod, of Zim's pitch count getting to him. The Indians have had good success over the years against him. More of the same today.
Yeah, they did. I mean, 3 innings today for Jordan Zimmerman. A lot of pitches thrown, but for whatever reason, he just has a very difficult time with the Indians. But they're a good team. There's no doubt about that.
Meanwhile, Corey Kluber doing what Corey Kluber does. He's been on a tough stretch, but he's done a good job of limiting the damage.
Yeah, we were hoping to catch him on a downward spiral. He had been struggling in his last couple of outings. 9 earned runs for Corey in his last 2 starts, but today he's looking more like the Corey Kluber that won the Cy Young. Tigers had an opportunity early in the game to get him, but he's really settled in the last 3 frames.
Meanwhile, the Tigers go back to the bullpen in a wall side windows. Pitching change, it'll be Victor Alcantara.
Alcantara, 6 2/3 innings pitched so far this year, only 1 earned run. He's pitching in his 7th game of the season. He's got a live arm. He's got a fastball that will get in the mid-90s.
Bottom 3, Kipnis, Gomes, and Davis.
Alcantara also has a little hesitation in his delivery, which could give him some deception. Not a smooth delivery.
(2-0). The Indians got 1 in the first, 2 in the second, 2 in the third. They lead 5-1. Pulled right to the first baseman Hicks, who hauls it in. Hit it right out and 1 gone. Hey Grizzlies, Fox Sports Detroit University days are back. Head to Comerica Park August 14th. Tigers take on the White Sox. Show your school spirit. Special package includes a game ticket, Tigers cap in black and gold, and a donation back to the Alumni Association Scholarship Fund. Go to tigers.com/OU. Here's Yan Gomes now with 1 out. Gomes is 1 for 2, a single and a strikeout in this game. Zim goes 3, 2 innings out of Liriano, and now Alcantara here in the 6th. Tigers have the Reds coming to town for a modest 2-game series after the off day tomorrow.
And Reds come to town with an interim manager, and Jim Riggleman. And he might just keep that job after this season is over, the way the Reds have played under his leadership since Brian Price was fired, I guess I should say, earlier this year.
Here are the numbers on Gomes and how the Tigers play him defensively.
And they've got him 1 man standing right in those high percentage spots. Nico was standing right where he should be, as was Iggy and also Ronnie Rodriguez. You see all 3 guys. There's Nico right there. You got him standing right there, 28%, and 28% over here. Lone member on the right side pretty much is John Hicks. It's amazing too how many times guys will hit right into those numbers that we show you. How about that?
Iglesias, great play. 1-hop throw is in time.
Unbelievably athletic play by Jose Iglesias.
He has gone to the outfield grass and made that play a ton this year.
If he doesn't win a Gold Glove this year, he probably never will win one. He knows that Gomes is not the fleetest of foot. So watch Iggy. He grabs this ball and then quickly turns his body and he bounces it over to first base, knowing if he took more time and tried to get a better throw off to first base, he would not have gotten Yan Gomes there. So he grabs it, turns the body, flips it accurately back across the diamond to John Hicks, who's able to finish off the play. It's a nice play. Made a play just like that a few days ago in Kansas City, along with a lot of other plays.
Davis shoots one toward right center field. That ball is going to get down. It's going to go to the wall.
Second triple.
He might have another triple. He's going to hold up and stop with a double. 2-out, 2-base hit for Rajay Davis. And the Indians have another chance to get a run.
It's the second time Rajai Davis has gone the opposite way. That's a mid-90s fastball thrown by Alcantara. I thought he was going to go 3.
Another extra base hit for Davis, his second. Another extra base hit for the Indians.
Alcantara's got that fastball that will get up to 96. He usually sits right around 93 to 95 with some sink on it. That's when he gets movement, when he's around 93.
5 extra base hits on the day now for Cleveland.
Alcantara pitched a couple of nights ago in that game where Lindor hit a couple of home runs, and Lindor hit the second home run off of Alcantara that night.
Two and 0. Indians have had at least 1 hit in every inning so far in this game.
They've got a lot of extra base hits today. 9 hits total. Majority of those extra base hits.
Little looper in the air to center, but there is Martin to end the inning. Nothing comes of the 2-out double. Davis is stranded. We go to the bottom of the 6th.
Game summary: the Tigers got on the board first by using their legs. It was a bunt single, then a double by Nico, and a ground out by Castellanos, which plated their only run of the game. But the Indians, they've been flexing their muscles today. They have a couple of big flies, one by Melky Cabrera in the second, then a 2-run shot by Yonder Alonso in the third. Second homer of the series for Alonso.
Kluber back to the hill. He's got Nico Goodrum here. Goodrum, Castellanos, and Hicks in the 6th inning. Nico waves and misses 0-2.
27 home runs this year the Cleveland Indians have hit against Tigers pitching. He continues to throw Nico that changeup. Oh, watch out, Nico.
Goodrum had a double in the first. He flied out his last time up. It'll get back out of play. Yes, nicely done. Take a bow.
Staying hydrated too. Here, hold this, Mom.
Down he goes. Nico strikes out, 1 away in the 6th. Let's bring in Matt Shepard.
Mario, what I love being out in this part of the ballpark is the Hall of Famers on the wall, and of course Alan Trammell and Jack Morris will be there soon. Al Kaline gets a lot of visits to that statue and to his number out there as Alan Trammell speaks to the crowd in Cooperstown as we speak. Al Kaline entered Cooperstown in 1980. He was a 15-time All-Star, folks. At one point, for 13 straight years, he was an All-Star. He also was a 10-time Gold Glove winner. And I would argue this, fellas, good discussion point. I think he should have been the MVP twice. 1955, his numbers were better than Yogi Berra. 63, better than Elston Howard as well. I think he got shortchanged both years.
Well, I think you're right. As Castellanos flies deep to right field, his WAR was certainly better than Bell's. It was much better that year. But that's the way it goes sometimes.
Nice swing here by Nicholas Castellanos. You have to be encouraged by it. Hands are closer to the body. You can see where his hands are. That's key for Nick. And when your hands are that close to your body, that means you're getting leverage from your lower half of your body, and you can drive the ball a little bit further. And that one he nearly hit out of the ballpark the opposite way. It wouldn't shock me over the course of the next week or so if Nicholas Castellanos did not get back on track.
Here is John Hicks now with 2 outs. Nick thought he had that one. To be honest, so did I. Cabrera goes to the wall to bring it in.
Just a steady diet of breaking balls to John Hicks thrown by Corey Kluber. And the same thing was done to him by Corey Clevenger. Mike Clevenger. Corey is Kluber.
Here's the 0-2. Ooh. Threw about a 50-footer there. $80 now for Kluber. You know when guys throw like a 50-footer, what's the first thing they always do? They start looking at the ground, start kicking the ground.
Looking at their hands.
It's the ground's fault. My toe's stuck.
Something had to be wrong.
Now the 1-2. Got him. Strike 3. Hicks says, no, you missed it. 1-2, 3 inning, 4 strikeouts for Kluber. And we're going to the 7th. Wall side windows, the Reds are coming in on Tuesday, and here's how they will square off.
And Matthew Boyd will go first for the Tigers against Homer Bailey, and then Sal Romano will go on the Wednesday noon game as Tigers Live starts at noon against Mike Fiers.
We saw Romano in one of those games in Cincy.
He pitched well against us.
Same again. Tigers going back to the bullpen here. It's going to be the left-hander in a wall side windows change, Daniel Stumpf.
And Daniel pitching in his 37th game, and 20 strikeouts, 14 base on balls. Daniel much better than the numbers he posted this year. He was tremendous last year out of that Tigers bullpen.
Michael Brantley stands in. One ball and one strike on Brantley. Pulled foul. Brantley got him rolling back in the first on a triple, scored a run on the sac fly by Ramirez. This one goes the other way, slicing, foul. Here is the difference here this afternoon. Jordan Zimmerman threw 80 pitches to get through 3 innings, and Kluber has gone 81 to get through 6.
Yeah.
That was your main difference this afternoon, or at least to this point. Fouled off. One-two on Michael Brantley. Got him, strike 3. Caught him looking. One gone. Well, Alan Trammell's speech is complete. The National Baseball Hall of Fame induction ceremony is airing live on MLB Network and MLB.com. Tram, of course, talked about the great fans of Detroit.
Tiger fans, I know you're out there. Today is as much about you as it is for me. Your support over all these years has meant a great deal to me. And today, all Tiger fans can celebrate. Like Ernie Harwell used to say, when the Tigers turn a double play, you get 2 for the price of 1, with Jack and I going into the Hall of Fame together.
The National Baseball Hall of Fame induction ceremony airing live on MLB Network and MLB.com. And a snippet of Alan Trammell's speech in Cooperstown today as he is inducted into the 2018 class in the Hall of Fame.
Immortalized, Jack and Alan, and with the greatest players that have ever played the game of baseball. I mean, when you look at all those guys sitting behind Jack and Tram and the other guys that are going in, the other Hall of Famers, man, I mean, you get chills looking back there, you know what I mean?
It's overwhelming. Meanwhile, stumped with a couple of strikeouts. It really is overwhelming to have all of those greats in one location, and the spotlight is on you. Here is Encarnacion. Strikeout, ground out, walk for Encarnacion.
Encarnacion was thrown out at home plate by Nicholas Castellanos. They're trying to score after that base on balls back in the 5th inning.
He launched that one to left field. Reyes going back to the wall, and he can't get it. It's gone.
I thought Reyes was going to catch that ball.
It looked like he was going to get there. Encarnacion stopped at first base, thought it was caught, but they signaled homer.
We'll take one look at it, but when we get a second look at it, I think that Reyes probably got a little bit too close to the wall. And then when he jumped, he thought he was going to catch it too. He jumped right into the wall, and he couldn't elevate. Let me see if he jumps into the wall. Yep, he jumped right into the wall. See, that's why you have to know if you can, and it's not the easiest thing to do. how close you are to that wall, Mario, so that you can jump without jumping into the wall.
But doesn't the warning track give you an idea?
Warning track does give you an idea where you're at and how many steps you have before you do have contact with the wall.
And now Reyes with a diving play out at left field, and he can't hold on. It popped out of his glove. It'll be a single for Alonso.
Never really had the ball in his glove. It was right off the heel of the glove. I was taking a look at both Reyes and Martin. Neither got a good jump on that ball off the bat of Alonso. They did not get a good jump. And both guys took one step back before coming in on it. But that's kind of natural when you got a guy like Alonso who has 18 home runs. When they take that big swing in the outfield, sometimes you don't know whether that ball was hit off the end of the bat or not. But you see the direction the ball's going, and you just assume because they have power, that ball is going to come all the way to you.
11 Tribe hits in this game now, and there's number 12 as Cabrera goes the other way.
There he got the hitting shoes on today. Daniel Stump was able to retire the first two batters of the inning on strikeouts, Brantley and Ramirez, but the next three hits in a row.
Two on now with 2 outs, and here is Kipnis. Strike one on Kipnis. Melky Cabrera with a 3-hit game. The Indians have a 3-homer game.
Indians have been rumored out there searching for another outfielder, but I guess Melky Cabrera was telling Terry Francona, you got one here, buddy.
Exactly.
You don't need another outfielder. I'm here.
1-2. Always amazed how Cabrera changes addresses, and of course he was designated for assignment earlier this year by the Indians. And all he has done in his major league career is be a career .285 hitter. Hits with power. He's had really good big league numbers.
He has the one blemish on his resume with steroids. It happened a few years back when he was wearing the San Francisco Giants uniform.
Yeah, that was their World Series year.
Yeah, but he's been forgiven for that, just like most guys have, if you've said you've done it.
Grounder up the middle and into center field, a base hit. Martin charging. They're going to hold the runner at third base. It's going to load him up.
And Martin already with 9 assists, and there's already been 1 runner thrown out at home plate. They didn't want to run the risk of having Alonso thrown out at home plate. Right past Daniel Stump.
It's going to bring Rick Anderson out. Martin is saying, I dare you. Come on, do it. He's got 9 outfield assists. The Tigers, by the way, as a team, have 22 outfield assists, which is 3rd in the big leagues. Fans celebrate Tigers legend and Hall of Fame inductee Alan Trammell when the Tigers retire his number prior to the Sunday, August 26th game against the White Sox. It'll be a 1:10 start. The first 10,000 fans receive an Alan Trammell 1984 replica road jersey. If you'd like tickets, go to tigers.com. Tramm just completed his speech at the Hall of Fame. Buck Farmer now warming up. Here is Yan Gomes with the bases loaded. In the air to center field, and it's right at Martin to win the threat. They get a run, though, in the home run by Encarnacion. Coming up, the Consumers Energy 7th inning stretch.
He was a real pitcher. He was not afraid to take the ball and go out every time they asked him. And to me, I think that qualifies for an awful lot. He deserves to be there.
Game break brought to you by Ram. Denny McClain, who is a big part of the '68 team, but of course talking about Jack Morris, who was a part of the '84 World Championship team.
Here's our Bill Tire pitch by pitch. The Tigers were able to score 1 run in the very first inning against Corey Kluber, last year's Cy Young Award winner, but then Corey settled in with a mixture of changeups, cutters, four-seam fastballs up top. He got some help from his catcher, throwing out Iglesias after a double, but just a really nice afternoon turned in by Corey Kluber. And coming into the game, Corey Kluber had a 1.71 ERA during the daylight, and he's done nothing to hurt those numbers today.
Well, they were hoping that Kluber would turn things around after some bumpy starts going into the break and coming out of the break, and so far he's done just that, but the Tigers still have some time. Ducey, Rodriguez, and McCann here in the 7th inning facing Kluber. Ducey is 0 for 2, ground ball, strikeout. And a breaking ball bends in for a strike, 0-1. Ducey swings and misses, 0-2.
And Tigers with only 2 base runners against Kluber since the 2nd inning. A double and a base on balls.
Tigers started out really well, a single and a double to start the game. They got a run, but that's been it.
And one of the things that Corey Kluber does very well, and Terry Francona was talking about this regarding his ace pitcher.
Popped up third base side. Is there room? Ramirez has room. 1 gone.
Corey Kluber, for instance, today, I mean, notice that the Tigers are all over his 4-seam fastballs, his 2-seamers. They got some hits early, so he simply went to his changeup and his off-speed stuff and got some swings and misses. And then he got back to his fastball, and then he had some softer contact. So Kluber's just one of those guys that's really good at making adjustments throughout the game. He will not stick with the same game plan if it's not working.
And he didn't seem to take a lot of time to make those adjustments.
Not at all.
Here's Ronnie Rodriguez. Single and 2 at bats for Ronnie, and he'll step away from a strike. Kluber has gone 4 straight years of 200 innings, 200 strikeouts. Flared toward right field. On the move is Cabrera, going toward the corner, and he makes the catch up against the wall. Nice running play by Melky Cabrera.
And Melky's always been a decent defender. He's played all 3 outfield positions. He's played some center field. He played left field primarily with the Chicago White Sox the last few years. And now he's playing right field these days. Lonnie Chisenhall, their everyday right fielder, just can't stay healthy.
No, he's hurt. Naquin's hurt. He went back on the DL. Zimmer's hurt.
Yeah, they got 3 outfielders down.
Now McCann with 2 outs.
And McCann still looking for his first career hit against Corey Kluber. He is 0 for 14. Usually that computer kind of spits you out in the morning when you try to put a guy's name in, and that's 0 for 12, doesn't it? The red beep, beep, beep.
Find me someone else. Here's the 0-1 pitch. 0-2 now on McCann.
And because trust me, a lot of things are done these days by how guys have success or lack of success against a certain pitcher.
Does your computer actually beep like that? Because mine doesn't.
Ron Gardenhire was talking when the team was where's that last night before in Houston, I believe it was. In Houston, he tried to put somebody's name in against somebody, Keuchel or Verlander or somebody. He said his computer blew up.
I think I was in Tampa.
He said my computer blew up.
That's pretty funny. And Gardy's got like 3 or 4 devices in front of him every night.
Unlike Jim Leyland.
No, very much unlike Jim Leyland. Down goes Mack. He strikes out swinging. 5 punch outs for Kluber. He's retired 8 straight. You're watching Tigers baseball presented by Bell Tires. The newest inductee into the National Baseball Hall of Fame, Mr. Alan Trammell, who just minutes ago concluded his speech in Cooperstown. Jack Morris will be coming up a little bit later on this afternoon. But as far as this game goes, Rod, Corey Kluber, they were really concerned about him going into the break, coming out of the break, but he's been good today.
Yeah, he has. He's got everything moving east to west, north to south. He's got a nice feel for his changeup. The cutter's always there, and he's got a nice little breaking ball, too. So he's as good as he's pitched against the Tigers in his last 4 starts.
Well, Rajay Davis will get things started here in the 8th inning. Tigers down 6-1 in this ball game, and for the Tigers, they're trying to win back-to-back series, but they're down in this one. Wallside windows pitching change. It'll be Buck Farmer.
And Rajay Davis with 2 of the 6 extra base hits that the Cleveland Indians have gotten today against Tigers pitching. He's tripled and he's also doubled in his last 2 plate appearances.
Davis and then Lindor and then Brantley. Six of the 13 hits today for the Indians for extra bases, including 3 homers. 0-2 on Davis.
And nice little off-speed pitch there thrown by Buck Farmer. And Buck's got 4 pitches: fastball, curve, slider, change. Best 2 pitches, probably the mid-90s fastball. His second best pitch is his changeup. That's how he keeps left-handers at bay most of the time.
1-2.
Now, there was a time where the Tigers did not have a left-hander in their bullpen, but Ron Gardenhire didn't mind that because Buck Farmer does nice work against left-handed bats. And the reason for that is that changeup. He doesn't throw the changeup to the righties, but a steady diet of them changeups to the left-handers.
Well, the Tigers bullpen with 4 shutout innings last night. And they came in with an ERA of 3.44 in July, the second lowest in the American League. Big swing there by Davis.
Here's the numbers that I'm talking about regarding Buck Farmer. I mean, he clearly has to improve in his ability to get righties out. There's no doubt about that. That number has to come down. But it's awfully encouraging to see a guy that can limit the damage that left-handers do against him.
There's going to be a 3-hit game now for Davis. It's going to be another extra base hit. He's on his way to second with his second double of the ball game. Leadoff man on for the Indians. MLB at Bat is your #1 Detroit Tigers app. Customize your experience to catch every moment this season. Great features such as MLB.TV Game of the Day. You got live radio broadcast, stats, news, and more. Download MLB at Bat today. Yet another extra base hit for the Tribe here this afternoon. They've out-hit the Tigers 14-4. Here is Lindor.
Well, one of the things that Cleveland has done very well in the month of July, and we pointed it out earlier, and they've scored a boatload of runs. They've scored the most runs in baseball in the month of July. Their offense is really woken up. They're averaging 6 runs a game. And Mario, in the 15 games they played against the Tigers, guess how many runs they're averaging a game?
6.
6.
How did I know that? Well, we know this. When you've got a team like the Indians who are starting to hit well now and score runs,
yep,
with that rotation,
yep,
they're going to be dangerous.
And their bullpen has improved. I know their numbers aren't pretty overall, but they've got some decent guys in that bullpen now. And today is supposed to be the second consecutive day that Andrew Miller throws. And if all goes well for him, because he pitched yesterday, he'll be in the big leagues soon.
Well, the Indians, if they win today, will be 30-14 against the Central Division. So they've gotten it done within the division. The word on Miller is he feels healthy, just has not been able to get the results.
Yeah.
They're waiting for that to come. They want to take it slow with him. He is a huge piece of their bullpen. Popped him up. Third base side, foul ground, and it's going to be Rodriguez who calls everybody off. 1 away. Here is the Cleveland box score. As you might expect, a lot of crooked numbers.
A lot of damage done at the bottom of the order, not so much at the top. Only 2 hits between the front 3 guys, but the big home run by Encarnacion, but 2 hits by Alonso, 3 more by Rajay Davis. The bottom of the batting order getting it done.
Brantley is 1 for 4 in this game. He has a triple that came in the first inning, which set the tone for the Cleveland offense.
And Buck Farmer not paying a whole lot of attention to Rajay Davis. Do not think that Rajay would steal here, up by 5 runs in the top half of the 8th inning.
Pulled foul. 0-2 on Brantley. Farmer replaces Stump, who replaced Alcantara. Liriano also pitched a couple of innings out of the Tiger bullpen today. Here is Farmer's 0-2. Ooh, he chased up top. Brantley left the strike zone there. 2 away.
Yeah, good four-seam fastball. Looked like Bradley got just a piece of it, but it still landed in McCann's glove.
Now Jose Ramirez with 2 outs. He fanned that his last at bat in the 7th inning. That strikeout by Ramirez was his first strikeout since July the 21st, which covered 32 plate appearances. Sac fly, walk, steal, run scored in this one today. Even when he's not getting base hits, he is getting on base. Ramirez had that long streak of 32 straight games earlier in the year in which he reached base. Two and one. Leadoff double by Davis. He is still standing there. Two and two now on Ramirez. By the way, be sure to join us Tuesday when the Tigers begin a 2-game interleague series against the Cincinnati Reds. Your game coverage begins at 6 with Tigers Live right here on Fox Sports Detroit. Redlegs coming in.
Playing some good baseball.
And then the Tigers head out west. Oakland and Anaheim. 3-2. Indians with the double here in this inning by Davis have 1 hit in every inning today. It seems like every single frame they've had something going. It is a 6-1 ball game here in the 8th.
They've definitely had their hitting shoes on this afternoon.
And they've had Corey Kluber on the mark as well.
And Ramirez, he's not giving away any at-bats.
High fly ball down the right field line going toward the corner. Castellanos coming over. How to play.
You were talking about all the walks Ramirez has this year. 67 walks. And he's punched out 49 times. Make that 50 times. So he's walked more than he has struck out. And that's rare, man, these days. You don't see it very, especially for a guy that has 30 home runs.
How many walks?
50. 66.
66. So 16 more walks than strikeouts.
Yep.
Well, give him another walk. 2 on now with 2 outs.
I bet you can look up all the guys in the big leagues that have 25 or more homers, and I bet you every last one of them have struck out more than they've walked.
Oh, no doubt.
I bet you.
Yeah, I would bet anything on that. Well, not anything. Probably wouldn't bet my house or my car or anything like that.
Or the kids.
Or the kids.
Or do I? None of that stuff. That's off limits.
Here is Encarnacion now with 2 on and 2 outs. Strike one.
These guys have had some of their best at bats today against the Tigers pitching after 2 were out. I mean, you get 2 outs and these guys just continue to put pressure on them. They did it against Stump. I mean, Stump got the first 2 guys out and ended up giving up a run.
A bullet to left field. That's going to drop a base hit. Here comes Davis rounding third, streaking home to score. 2-out RBI single by Encarnacion.
We were talking about Encarnacion a little earlier in the contest. In the last number of years in Toronto, he was racking up 100 RBI seasons with regularity, also hitting 40 homers. But, I mean, man, if he ever got off to a good start, Mario, here, he'd drive in 150. The last 2 years, he's gotten off to slow starts.
His Aprils have been bad.
And he's got 73 RBIs.
So 2 more driven in today for Encarnacion. Here is Yonder Alonso. 7-1. That is a 15-hit game now for the Indians. Ball 1 to Alonso.
If you're going to throw Alonso that changeup, Buck needs to make sure he gets it outside. If he misses with that ball down and in, Alonso very dangerous on those balls down and in. Also hitting .332 with runners in scoring position this season. So he doesn't panic in these situations.
And that is going to be a foul ball.
See, that's a play right there. Let's take one more look at that play. See, that's a play right there, Mario, where you know as a first baseman, really all you have to do is stay back on that ball and get a better hop because you know the pitcher's going to be there. Hicks hasn't played a lot of first base, and therefore he created, if it's a fair ball, I'm just saying a fair ball, he created a trickier hop for himself than he should have. You lay back on that ball, then you just flip it to your pitcher. Here's one more look at it. I mean, see, on this particular ball, you don't come in and create the bad hop for yourself. You simply back up a couple of steps, and now you get the better hop, and you know Farmer's going to be there. But that's all part of learning how to play first base.
We talk about the absence of Melky Cabrera and what it's meant to the Tigers this year offensively, but even as a defensive first baseman, he was good at that position.
Yeah.
2-1 on Alonso. Two and two.
This was a nice pickup for Cleveland. And they got themselves a guy that's pretty much right in the prime of his career in Alonso, who had a career high in homers last year. And he also is very good with the glove around the bag. I know he's committed a couple of miscues in this series, but generally speaking, he's a pretty good glove. Also, Manny Machado is the brother-in-law of Yonder Alonso. If you guys didn't know that, he married Yonder's sister.
Fly ball slicing away from Reyes. He's on the run, diving, and Reyes can't hold on to it. This might get 2 runs in, and it will. Nope, they're going to hold the runner at third. That is Encarnacion. He will stop. Scoring on the play is Ramirez. Almost a spectacular play by Reyes.
One of the things that we've learned about Reyes, Mario, and he hasn't played that much in the outfield, but he leaves his feet a lot. And he had that ball in his glove, and then once he hit the ground, the contact with the glove to the ground caused the ball to trickle out. Did he have it long enough, though, I'm wondering? I guess not.
No, I don't think so. But you're right, he did have that ball caught.
It's the second time he's left his feet today and almost made 2 real nice plays. And of course, he really almost made a really nice play taking a home run away from Encarnacion. Encarnacion's last time up.
So it's another double for the Indians. Third hit today for Alonso. It's 8-1. Now Melky Cabrera. 2 singles and a homer for Cabrera. The Indians' most hits in a game this year, a 9-inning game, is 21. That is pulled, and a diving play at first by Hicks. He saved 2 more runs and robbed Cabrera of a 4-hit game. Let's go to the bottom of the 8th. Detroit is brought to you by Comerica Bank. Raise your expectations of what a bank can be. Come to Comerica. Your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. Visit ChevyDetroit.com. See why Chevy drives the Motor City. And by Wallside Windows. We can do that. We are the factory. What a day in Cooperstown today for both Alan Trammell and Jack Morris, as they were inducted officially into the Hall of Fame. First pitch swinging is Iglesias, and he pops up for out number 1.
And Corey Kluber still out there. And why not? He's only thrown 91 pitches.
Changes for the Indians. Brandon Geyer now is the new left fielder. Brantley is out. Eric Gonzalez will replace Jason Kipnis. Reyes looks at a strike. Line drive to right, and that'll drop in. Base hit. Reyes with a 1-out single, his first hit today. There's our Ram pick the stick update for this afternoon.
Not a whole lot going on today.
I got 2.
Yeah, oh, yeah, you do.
Shep's got 2. So does Johnny.
You've got 1.
It's going to be it for Kluber, it appears. He will give up the baseball, and Corey Kluber leaves after the single by Reyes. Pitching change. Will be back.
Famer is subtly trying to make sure that you get through it, number one. Number two, you don't take too much time. And number three, there's money on betting against you that you're going to cheer up. And they know exactly when it is, and they all are betting different odds on when you're going to cheer up. So we'll see if that all happens.
Well, Jack Morris is at the podium right now in Cooperstown, about to deliver his acceptance speech. And I tell you what, it's a great day for Morris, and also a great day for Trammell, who's already spoken in Cooperstown.
Trammell did not seem like he was nervous at all. I mean, it seemed like his words were flowing out of his mouth as eloquently as they always do. Jack, I think he's going to tear up a little bit.
Yep.
I think he's going to drop a tear.
I think you're right. He's more of an emotional guy. That's slapped in the air to center field. Davis coming on to make the catch.
Rajay Davis is having some kind of game out there. He's tripled, he's doubled twice, he's scored, and he's made all the plays, and he's got some serious swag out there today too.
2 away now. Apparently, as Jack Morris was introduced for his speech just minutes ago, a "Let's Go Tigers" chant broke out in the crowd.
That does not shock me one bit.
Oh, not at all. Here's Nico Goodrum. Ball one missing low from Brad Hand, who is the major acquisition to this point for the Indians to solidify their bullpen.
It's a nice deal for them because what it does is it protects them for the next couple of years. They've got Hand under control until the end of the 2021 season. So that's why they gave up their star catcher, Francisco Mejia, for him. There's a little breaking ball there at 80. Hand has got 97 as well with his fastball. Having a couple of really nice seasons out there for the San Diego Padres.
One and two on Nico. Hand had 24 saves with San Diego. He's got one with Cleveland. 25 last year. Now the 1-2. Bouncing ball towards short. Lindor in the backhand. Quick throw is in time. Nifty play by Francisco Lindor. Nothing comes to the 1-out single. We go to the ninth.
This 1-800-CALL SAM update. Simo, we knew Corey Kluber's numbers against the Tigers coming in were terrific. Today, he was terrific.
Well, again, you know going up against Kluber that it was going to be tough. He had it all working. They did get to him early on, but he would settle in like most aces do, and then he was able to meander through the Tigers lineup. On the other side, Jordan Zimmerman scuffled a little bit, command, missed some pitches over the heart of plate, was killed today by the long ball. But we never know. 27 outs. Tiger still has a chance.
You're absolutely right. Kluber, 7 1/3, allowed just 1 run off 5 hits. 80 pitches for Jordan Zimmermann today. We'll break down both. We'll hear from Jordan Zimmermann coming up on Tigers Live postgame. And Jack Morris at the podium right now in Cooperstown. We'll bring you snippets of both Morris's Hall of Fame induction speech as well as Alan Trammell's. It will be emotional. It will be exciting. We encourage everybody to tune in to Tigers Live immediately following this one. Mario, Rod?
All right, guys, thank you. As we go to the 9th, it'll be Eric Gonzalez to lead things off for the Indians. And he will face Alex Wilson for the Tigers here in the 9th. Gonzalez first at bat. He took over in the ball game for Kipnis defensively.
He's performed well this year against Tigers pitching. .353 batting average for Gonzalez in limited playing time, 17 at bats.
0-2. Tigers had to go deep into their bullpen today with Zim lasting only 3. One and 2 the count. Wilson is the 5th Tigers reliever here this afternoon. Indians lead 8-1. Pulled foul. Gonzalez, then Gomes, and then Davis. Indians with 16 hits in this contest. The Tigers had managed only 5 so far.
Nearly half of those hits extra base variety. 3 homers, couple triples, few doubles.
Tigers got their only run in the first inning. Indians scored 1 in the top of the first. Tigers tied it up, but they could not get to Kluber after that. Low and away, and now Gonzalez has gone to 3-2. To shallow left center field, slicing, caught on the run by Martin.
Well, just like we promised you, it is time for the Miller Lite Hold True moment, and it came early in this game. It was Melky Cabrera. It was the 2nd frame. It was a solo shot off Tigers starter Jordan Zimmermann into the right field seats, and that was the winning run. That made the score 2-1.
Here's Yan Gomes, the catcher for the Indians. In there, a strike called. Tigers have Castellanos, Hicks, and Ducey when we get to the 9th. Or the bottom of the 9th. They'll sail low and away. 1 ball and 1 strike on Gomes, who in this ball game today 1 for 4.
He's also done a very nice job behind the plate handling their ace, Corey Kluber. They made a really nice adjustment after the first 2 frames. Started going to some more soft stuff. Got the Tigers off that cut fastball, that hard stuff.
Every Indian starter with at least 1 hit in this game, with the exception of Jose Ramirez, but he's walked twice, stolen a base, and had a sac fly.
Yeah, he's made his presence known.
Here's the 2-1.
Good breaking ball there, thrown at 86 miles an hour by Alex Wilson.
And that's ball 3 on Gomes now. Full count, 3-2. Rajai Davis waiting on deck. Swing and a miss, and Gomes is gone. 2 away. Wilson a strikeout. Guess Sean Newcomb of the Atlanta Braves has 8 no-hit innings against the Dodgers.
Really?
Yeah. Newcomb's good.
8 of them, huh?
The Atlanta team still battling in their division, the National League. They came in with 2.5 game spread behind Philly in the East.
Yeah, they've had a tough go lately, Atlanta Braves. Still young team, but still right in the thick of things.
Newcomb has 117 pitches. It's fouled away by Davis.
Is this the start of the 8th?
No, through 8.
Through 8.
Yeah, so. Yeah, pull him. Don't let him go.
Yeah, no shot.
117's too much.
No chance at that.
He will get a shot in the 9th, to be sure. Davis a 3-hit game, all for extra bases. Now he's down 0-2. Wilson in search of the 1-2-3 9th. Did he go? He did. Strike 3 called. It is indeed a 1-2-3 9th. Nicholas Castellanos will get things started for the Tigers in the bottom of the 9th.
I can, that's the appreciation I get, is that they think that I deserve to be there. That's about all that I can, really say about that. I'm not going to call people and cry about it. I'm not going to be upset and disrespect Tram or Jack because they're there. I'm probably more excited for both of them, because we all played together.
Well, hopefully Sweet Lou will get his opportunity in the not too distant future to join his teammates in the Hall of Fame.
There are many that believe that not only does he deserve to be there, but he's going to get there very soon.
Well, here come the Tigers now in the bottom of the 9th. They're down 8-1. It'll be Castellanos to lead things off.
I liked Nicholas's last at bat. He flew out to the base of the wall. Melky Cabrera made a nice play on a line drive that he hit that direction. He tries to go that way again.
Coming over the right fielder Cabrera, 1 pitch and 1 out as Castellanos is retired. Got a new pitcher now. It's Plutko, who was called up yesterday.
40 2/3 innings already logged for Plutko this season. He's got all 4 pitches. He starts in the minor leagues. He's got a fastball, curve, slider, and a changeup. 29 strikeouts. He's walked 11.
Hicks cuts and misses 0-1.
Hicks has been getting a steady diet of off-speed pitches the last couple of games he's been in. There's another one. And most of his swings have looked just like that. He just can't pick it up.
There was that one game in Houston right before the break. Remember that game? I forgot it was thrown. Was it Garrett Cole maybe?
It might have been Cole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where it was bender after bender after bender.
Yeah. I think what's happened with John, and John's a good hitter. I mean, John's got a .268 batting average. He's has career highs in just about every offensive category: at bats, homers, RBIs. But after they start to learn that you can really clobber that fastball, they start to figure out ways to get you out with that breaking ball. He just hasn't been able to stay back on that breaking ball.
Lindor hauls it in. Well, the National Baseball Hall of Fame induction ceremony is airing live on MLB Network and MLB.com. And Jack Morris just completed his speech talking about how lucky he is to go in with his teammates.
Going to the Hall of Fame with my friend and teammate Alan Trammell is a dream come true. We signed together in 1976, spent 13 years together in Detroit, and now 42 years later, Cooperstown. 1984 was an incredible year. A 35-5 start, wire to wire in first place, and a world championship that brought joy to a lot of people. I owe a huge thank you to Detroit.
The National Baseball Hall of Fame induction ceremony airing live on MLB Network and MLB.com. Tigers fall here today as they go 1-2-3 in the 9th inning. Now we'll send you to the Coliseum Studios. Johnny Kane, Craig Monroe with Tigers Live Postgame.
All right, we do thank you, Mario. Yes, we will have plenty more from both Jack and Tram's induction speeches from Cooperstown. We'll recap the entire weekend, bringing more of the sights and sounds of what has been an emotional weekend to be sure. And who might be the next Tiger in the Hall of Fame, we'll discuss, we'll debate. Plus, Joey Votto and the Reds coming to town next. We'll preview the matchup coming up on Tigers Live.